Hello and welcome or welcome back to Novels with Nora. Today is another weekly grad school vlog. My second class, today's Monday, starting on Monday. And my second class started today, so now I'll be juggling two classes, not just the one. And I feel like this was a good way to ease myself into it because I've been taking this other class for like 4 or 5 weeks now. So I'm like into a routine with that one, and now we're adding in the second one. That's what you've got going on this week. However, I am exhausted today because last night registration for summer classes opened at midnight, 12:01 a.m. So I'm usually in bed between like 9:30 and 10 o'clock. I like to go to bed early. I like to be in bed asleep by 11 at the latest. So the fact that I had to stay up until 12 and then like get my heart racing trying to get the classes I wanted, so stressful. I hated it so much. So I slept like an hour and a half later than I normally like to. So the day's been off to a weird start. It is currently 3:03 p.m. I just had lunch. We've been having a time, but I did end up getting into all of the classes I wanted except one because I didn't realize that there's a class you have to take before that one, which is one of the classes that I was registering for at the same time. So I wasn't able to get that one, but I did enroll in 3 classes. So that's pretty exciting. It was just exhausting because in my undergrad, the school that I did that, registration always started at 8 a.m. And I'm a morning person, so I would just wake up, register for classes, go about my day. Or if I didn't have to, I'd go back to sleep and it'd be totally fine because I would still get like a solid good chunk of sleep before having to wake up for that. And also I knew how to register for classes because our advisors were like really on it and very good at telling us, okay, here's how you're gonna do it. Because there was a way where you would like build it into a schedule, and then when you went to register, you just click like register and it would register you for all the classes. I had not heard anything from my advisor. I had to look up on the school's website how to register, what time to register. I had to text my friend who goes to the school and be like, how do you do it? Because I had no clue what I was doing. So also the classes I registered for, I'm not even sure if they're technically the right classes that I'm supposed to be taking right now. So I'm taking one core course because I have 2 right now, and then I'll be taking one more because there's only really 4. And then one in the initial email I got when I first started was like, we typically recommend taking this later in your career. So I didn't take that one, but I'm taking 2 right now and then 1 in the summer. So then I had 2 like extracurriculars or electives. One is like reference sources for youth, and I want to be a youth librarian, so that's perfect. And then the other one was like trauma informed resources and sources, which also sounds super fantastic. So I did get into those 3, but it just made me exhausted and put me in a bad mood today, honestly, which is why I'm not coming at you until like 3 o'clock. But this morning I did go through and I did all of like the introductory stuff for my new class. So like I read the syllabus, I added the things to my planner, I like made sure that I knew what was going on. I watched all like the introductory videos. These classes are weird. Both of the ones that I've taken so far, there's like one professor who's in charge and like who we communicate with and who grades our stuff, but then different professors do the lectures for those classes. It's very interesting, but I also kind of like it because then you get to know more professors than just the one that you're taking. So then you can take another class with a professor that you kind of already have a feel for. So I actually kind of like it. But I did my like get to know me post. Sounds good. There's a girl in this class who has 8 cats. Yeah, living my dream. I'm waiting to see if my nemesis Bob shows up in here. If you haven't seen my last weekly vlog where I was doing grad school stuff, there is this man in my class at the moment, and my other class, not this one, that I know of, and his name is Bob, and he seems like a very nice guy. Okay, he seems very nice, but he always comments on my posts in a very like surface level way, and I'm like, Bob, please, because him responding to mine means that no one else can respond, so I'm not really getting like the depth in a response that I would be looking for. So it's more of like a frenemy thing. He doesn't know I'm beefing with him, and realistically, very surface level beef, but it does exist. So I'm waiting to see if he shows up in this class. So far, including me, only 4 people have responded to this. So we'll see if we get more, hopefully throughout the week. I would certainly hope. So I did that, and then I watched, there were like some introductory videos, like how the course is going to run and stuff like that. And then I watched 2 lectures for my other course. So I'm taking information organization, which is the one I've been taking. And then this one is people and information ecology, if that helps at all distinguish between the 2. But that one, right now in information organization, we don't have an assignment this week. We're building towards like our bigger assignment, which was scary because when I read the assignment before doing like any of the lectures or readings for the weeks, I said, I have no clue what this is even saying. Like, there were like so many like abbreviations and acronyms. I was like, I have no clue. Luckily, the lectures today really helped to clear it up. And I didn't take notes because I would just be copying the stuff like directly from the slide. So I took a few pictures of things and then I can refer back. They were significantly shorter. Typically they're like 18 or 19 minutes and these ones are like 4 and then 9. So super helpful. So now I'm feeling much more confident in my ability to complete that assignment, which is not due until next Friday. Feeling good about that. And then for my new class, People in the Information Ecology, I do have a lecture to watch today. And then I have readings for both of my classes. But typically what I do is that Monday is for lectures, unless I have a lot of lectures and it's Monday, Tuesday. And then Tuesday will be for readings. So I had a perfect schedule built for when we were doing just discussions. It would be lecture Monday, readings Tuesday. Sometimes if there were a lot of readings, I would do Tuesday, Wednesday readings, and then do the discussion that day and my response Wednesday or Thursday. So now that I'm not doing the discussion, I've had to like kind of change things a little bit. And also now that there's 2 classes, you know, I'm working things out. But I have just a 5-minute lecture for this course that I will be taking notes on because it's literally introduction to the information ecology, so seems important. And then I have some readings, but again, readings are for tomorrow, so you get to see that tomorrow. And at first, I much preferred the lectures and taking notes on those and hated the readings. And then last week, the lectures were so long, and just the way that the lectures are set up for information organization, you can't speed them up, and the professors talk so slow because they're like just trying to make sure it feels like they're reading a script and they're not doing a very good job of it. And then the subtitles and the captions weren't lining up with the slides, so it was just very upsetting, and it took twice as long as I wanted it to. So then I was preferring the readings, especially because when we do discussions, the readings are like genuinely like you have to read them because that's what you're using to answer your discussion question. But for this, it's kind of just like background information where if you like want to learn a little bit more or like dive deeper into a specific topic, you can really look at those. So I've just been skimming them and just knowing that if I'm struggling with the assignment, I can always go back to them, but I don't really need to read them word for word. Every single word on that document does not need to go up in here. I said this in my last weekly vlog, but let me tell you, being able to skim academic articles is the single greatest skill you can have in grad school. The single greatest skill. So if you're thinking about grad school, learn how to skim. Helps you so much, saves so much time. So that's what we've got going on. I made a little to-do list in my planner so I know what I have going on. So for information organization, I have to do my readings and my lectures, and I already did the lectures, so I can actually cross that off. How exciting. And then for people in the information ecology, I have my lectures, my readings, my discussion, and my response this week. The reflection is due Friday, and then the response is due Monday. So actually, my week is looking pretty blank. I have nothing on this side and just one thing over here. Feeling pretty good about that. If you're curious about how I do my planning for grad school, in my last weekly grad school vlog. So I'm probably gonna be referencing that a lot just because I did a lot of the like foundational work there, where like putting things in my planner, figuring out my like organization and my time blocking and everything. So if you want more, we do have another one. But today, that's what we've got going on. So I'm going to be taking notes on that lecture, and you get to stick around for that. I take notes on my iPad because in my undergrad, I took notes physically, like in a notebook, but then I have all of these notebooks that have notes that like I'm genuinely interested in keeping because I would love to like refer back to them at some point, like if I need to or if I want to, especially because I loved my undergrad degree, Women's and Gender Studies, just in case you aren't going to go back and watch that one. And I'm in grad school for a Master of Library and Information Science. I feel like I need to say that, but I loved my major so much, so I just really love that information. But then I have all these like physical notebooks just full of stuff that are just like taking up space. So now I take notes on Notability on my iPad, and I do have a paid subscription because otherwise it like gives you a limit of how many notes you can create, and you know I don't love that. I make a note on my iPad and I just title it after you can like section them out so that they're like in different classes. So let's see how I can do this. So I'll just title it Module 1 Notes. Module. And I've typed module so many times that it doesn't look like a real word anymore. Notes. And then I just, you really cannot see what I'm doing, but in the subject setting, I just change it. I can create a new one and make it People in the information ecology, and then I get to pick a color that I want to make it, and this one's going to be like a green, create, and then it goes in there, and then we close it. So then my notes all for this class all get lumped together. So if I'm looking for something in particular, I can just go right there. And I do the same thing because I can import all of my readings and articles into here as well. So I can like highlight stuff, and then I can sort them by course as well. So it's really super helpful. When I first got my iPad, I was trying to use GoodNotes because that was what was like most recommended. I was watching a lot of TikToks trying to figure out what is the best note-taking app, and I didn't like it. I was very confused about like the interface of it all, so Notability has been absolutely perfect for me. So now I'm just going to watch my lecture and take notes, and you'll probably get a little time lapse of me doing that. So I just finished that lecture. I didn't take a whole lot of notes, mainly because I mean it was only 5 minutes and 11 seconds, and then the last like minute actually made this feel like a class. The lectures in my information organization course are simply just information. Like there's no, hi guys, welcome to the course, here's what we're gonna do this week. This one, at the end, there was like a whole overview of how the week is looking, what assignments we have for the week, like what order we should do things in. He talked about the different like optional things and how they relate to the course. I was like, this feels like I'm in an actual class. I really enjoyed it. So I can already tell based on the content of the course that I've just seen from like the syllabus and this week that I think I'm going to like this one a lot more than information organization, just because that one is truly like, what is information? How do we organize it? Like classification, categorization, stuff like that. And this one is like about the people in the information ecology. And I just feel like that is much more appealing to me, I guess. But yeah, I really like this professor as well. He has more like tone to his voice, I guess. Like he has like, I don't know, he just sounds like a real person and not like someone who's just like reading a script. Like he laughed at one point at like a little joke he made. I was like, thank you, this makes me feel just like so much more connected to the course. Really enjoyed this. So I'm technically done for the day. I think what I'm going to do is download put all of my readings into Notability just so I can see how long they are to decide if I'm going to need 1 or 2 days for the readings. But otherwise, this was a really great first day of this class, truly. I am having a great time already. Also, let's check and see if anyone else has responded to, oh, I have to go to discussions. So this school uses Canvas and I used Blackboard for my undergrad, and so it's still taking like a little bit of getting used to. Oh, our first man in this class. It's really interesting for me to see who all, like what different kinds of backgrounds all the other students have. So like me, I had women's and gender studies. This first person who posted already has a job working at this college in health and human services, which is super interesting. And then there's someone with a Bachelor of Art in English from New Hampshire. That's really interesting. And then Bachelor of Psychology from Ohio State University. And then this guy has a Master's of Art in East Asian Studies, also from Ohio State University. Oh, and history from University of Mary Washington in Fredericksburg, Virginia. Okay, but there's just a lot of different like diversity even just within what we've all done in our bachelor's, so it's very interesting. And I will say, from the discussions that I've seen in my other class, those different backgrounds make it so that when even though we're answering the same questions, we all have very different perspectives. So I'm really excited about this. I will probably update you again when I put all of my articles in and then see how long they are, because I'll probably have some complaining to do, because why are some articles so long? But after I put those in, that's all I'm really going to be doing for grad school today. I'll see you later, I guess. Okay, so I just got all of the articles put in. And then you can see the difference. So blue is information organization and green is people in information ecology. So for each class, I have 2 readings. And then for people in the information ecology, I have like a slideshow that I was going to download, but then I was like, I'm not going to like mark it up, so I don't need to do that. And then for information organization, there's a textbooks chapter that I need to read. So I'll be doing that tomorrow, and the rest of today I'm going to be reading my book, and I have 2 videos that I want to film, so you'll be seeing those shortly. So I might check in with you later. It just depends on what I get up to the rest of the day. I might honestly just end up like watching YouTube, and then there's not really anything for me to tell you. But either way, I will see you again tomorrow, if not later today. Good morning. Today is Tuesday. It is 11:17 a.m. I woke up, I read my book, and then I got breakfast, and now I am going to be reading my articles. I decided I'm going to do the ones for, mine has only 15%. Okay, let me plug that in. I'm going to read all of them for one class today, and then I'll do the other class tomorrow. So I need to decide which class I want to do today. I think I'm gonna do people in information ecology today. Let's see how long those articles are though. Let's see, we have one that is 3 pages, but it's like a double pager. And then we have one that is 14 pages and is also a double pager. Okay, so don't love that. For information organization, we have 18 pages and then 8 pages. Really what it is that for information organization, I'm gonna read the articles and then I don't have like actually anything to do with that. Like I read them and then I'm done for the week. Where people in information ecology, I read them and I have a discussion post to do. So I think I am going to do people in information ecology today, just so I have my information. The question, I always have it pulled up when I'm reading so that I can be reading to that question, so that I'm not just like, ooh, this is interesting. I could be thinking in the perspective, I need to answer this question, so let me get the you know what I'm saying. But it's really just thinking of an information ecology that we personally have like experience with, and then like answering questions about that. So I don't think it'll be too hard. I need some lotion though. So I'm not concerned about this assignment. Someone's already responded, and I thought we weren't supposed to be able to see what other people have said. Sometimes it like takes a week for that to like fully update though. Something that I am struggling with and have struggled with all through literally every single academic anything that I've ever been in is I feel like I need to be the first person to turn something in. So especially when we can see that other people, like I can fully read her response to the thing, I feel like, well, now I have to get mine in too. And that's not the case. I don't have to be first. I don't have to be second. I don't even have to be like 15th. As long as I get it in before the deadline, it's fine. I'm not going to get points docked off for being the last one to submit. I just have to keep reminding myself of that, because as soon as I see that someone has posted, I'm like, well, I need to post now too. Even though I have like my whole week planned out. In that plan, I'm not posting my discussion until tomorrow. Well, now in my brain, I'm like, well, she posted hers today, so I need to post mine today too. And I'm not sure what that stems from, but I feel like I need to dig deeper on that. And I think part of it is that I feel like I'm a less good student for not being like super on top of it. But also we didn't get this assignment until yesterday. So having it done Wednesday when it's not due till Friday is still on top of it. I just need to remind myself of that, but it is what it is. I'm really trying my best to be okay with it. I feel like, especially in grad school and just like the quality of work that I want to put out, I need to just be okay with taking a little bit longer to do things, and that's okay. Like yesterday I could have I watched all my lectures, because Monday is for lectures, Tuesday is for reading, and then because now I'm in 2 classes, it's 2 days for everything. I need to just keep that in mind and not be like, well, I have extra time so I can do extra stuff. No, because then I'm going to fall into this pit of, well, the day's not over, I can do more work, and then I'll never have any separation between like school and life, and I really need to have that. So that's what we're dealing with today. But I'm also still dealing with this like burn on my face. It's like I'm not really sure what happened, but like it's deeply unpleasant, and it's like really bumpy, and I keep joking that I'm turning into a lizard. It is what it is. This sweatshirt, I really like it, but it gets like weird in the shoulders when I sit. Like, why is it doing this? A silly goose, because I am a silly goose. Anyway, that's enough rambling about my problems today. So what I like to do when I read, I discovered this a few weeks ago, just because typically when I was in undergrad, I would do all of my readings either in my room, because we lived in an apartment, I had my own room by myself, like no sound, nothing except for like the heater turning on, and that was it. But there was also like no distractions. Like there was nothing for me to see because that room was so off. I really did not like the apartment I lived in. Or I would do my readings when I was at work, so at the library, and I really loved like the background noise of that and just like other people working. It was really fantastic. So what I do here is I usually use a 15-minute Pomodoro timer. Otherwise, I feel like I need to be reading faster, and so I skim, just like, not even skim, I just like skip huge chunks because I'm like, I just need to get to the end. So having the 15 minutes is like, no, I'll read solidly for these 15 minutes, and then there's a 5-minute break, and then I kind of do whatever. Sometimes I just sit and stare off into space, and then the next 15 minutes I do it again. But I was using one timer that had like music in the background, but the music was like really awful and changed like every 3 minutes, so it was very distracting and not at all conducive to reading. So what I actually just found is there is a Pixie Hollow ambiance video, and it's 2 hours here on YouTube. Pixie dust, tree ambience, soothing, magical fantasy music and sounds. Yeah, it's really fantastic. So I'm gonna put this on with the timer with no sound and read my first article. I think I'm gonna start with the longer one. Yeah, zoom myself in. Okay, so this is Librarians, a Keystone Species. Ooh, I am a keystone species, or I will be. I'm gonna read this. You'll probably get a cutesy little time lapse of me reading, and then I'll probably check in with you between the two and just be like, I finished it, thank God. Articles that are like two-sided like that, where they're just like clearly like PDF scans from like a book. Oh, they're some of my least favorite, but I'll live. So I'm going to read this and then check back in with you when I finish it. Clearly things have changed. I had to change my sweatshirt because the other one, like I was talking about how it did that in the shoulder, it was so wildly uncomfortable because it was like pulling down in the front too. This is Cheerio. It was like pulling down in the front, and it was just so wildly uncomfortable. I don't know if it's because it's like a very thick material, and so it just doesn't like bunch the way it normally, like, I feel like should for a sweatshirt, but I had to take it. Also, like, the sleeves are so long, but they're like tight, so you can't like pull them up the way you can with a normal sweatshirt. I had to change. I think I'm gonna be having to get rid of that sweatshirt because if it's that uncomfortable for me to just sit here, I probably will never wear it out. But I finished the first article. I actually really enjoyed it. I ended up not taking the 5-minute break because I was like really into the article, which is very interesting. Usually academic articles just like don't do it for me, but that one, it had like interviews from different librarians and was just like very interesting, kept me entertained. So I read the whole thing, really enjoyed it. So now I have another article that's like half the length of that one, and then I have like the slideshow to look over that they included. So also, I'm really loving the Pixie Hollow like ambiance thing. I'm gonna link it down below because it's so fantastic. It had me like, oh, I'm reading, oh yes. And I think that's partly what helped me like stay into it because I loved it so much, and it really just like really helped. So, oh, Cheerio, you're so stinky today. And he also helps make reading so much better because he's just so, oh, he's so warm and cuddly, and he loves to sit in my lap while I read. So we're gonna read our next article, and then we'll be done for that class for today. And then I have a video I want to film today, so keep an eye out for that. It'll be coming soon. And then I might be going to the bookstore tonight. It depends on if the weather stays as it is, because we had like a crazy snowstorm, and so the roads are not super fantastic, so we'll have to see if it keeps snowing or if it stays kind of where it is. I had to take some Advil just now because my head really hurts. Sometimes if I'm just like, I don't know what it is, but reading the articles just like gives me such a bad headache. So I think it's because I'm staring at my iPad all day. That's probably what it is. But I took some Advil because, youch. Also, I got sucked into, I have a 45-minute time limit on TikTok, and I got the notification just now that I only have 5 minutes left for the day. So that's like not great. And I think that probably doesn't help with the headache either. Gonna try and be better at not doing that. But sometimes it's like I finish reading and it's like I don't want to start reading another thing, and I don't want to get up, and I don't want to just sit here staring into nothing. So I'm just gonna watch some TikToks. Bad habits. But this is something I talked about in my last grad school vlog too, where I'm just like, I get sucked into TikTok and just like can't stop because it's just like, well, I can just keep scrolling and then I don't have to worry about doing my work. But we're not doing that this week. So I'm gonna read my second article and then check in with you again. Alrighty, I finished all the readings, and then I went back through just to make sure I had them all because the slideshow was in like a different spot because I didn't download it. And there was another reading that was just like on a website. It was a little sketchy, but I read it and I used quotes from it in my thing, which brings me to my next point of I did end up writing my whole discussion post. Let me explain before we jump to conclusions here. I feel like sometimes it's easier for me to write the discussion right after I've done the readings because then they're fresh in my mind and I'm still remembering like what I wanted to say while I was reading. So I wrote it. I don't know that I'll post it today, but then also like why not if I have it completely done. It is over the word count, I do believe. Let me check. I wanted to film some of my process of like writing it up. But then I just got like so into the zone that I did not do that. And also, how exciting would it be to sit here and watch me type? I don't know, especially because he wasn't even here for it. He was out there, so you wouldn't even have a kitty dog to look at. It is 552 words. However, that includes the like heading and then each like section heading will round down. It's about like 530, which it just says needs to be, length must be approximately 500 words. So I'm okay with that. Yeah, I'm actually very happy with what I wrote. I'm very, very satisfied with this. It was an easy one because it was just pulling from our own experiences, which is always easier than like completely writing something unrelated. So I'm very happy with this. I am going to post it today, I think. But first I'm gonna get lunch because I'm quite hungry. Also, this one's only 50 points, where in my other class, every discussion is 80 points. So that's interesting. And then my response to someone else is not due until Monday. So I also have a little bit of time for that. But I am feeling real good about getting this done because I can cross pretty much everything off of my planner. Let's see. We had for people in the information ecology, readings, discussion, and response. I'm not going to cross off the discussion until I actually get it posted, just because I feel like, right. So I can cross off readings. And that's pretty exciting. So, yeah, I'm gonna get lunch. We had Sloppy Joes for dinner last night, so I'm probably gonna have leftovers. And then, I don't know if I should post this now or wait until tomorrow. But, like, why wait? You know, like, what's the point of waiting? I just get nervous to post. I'm gonna be so honest with you. It makes me very nervous. I could not tell you why. Okay, I've copied and pasted it all. I'm gonna click reply. It always does the spacing real funky on here. So like one space turns into like two. So there's just like giant spaces that I have to delete because we don't need all of that. Oh, and it took out my numbers and turned them into bullet points. Interesting. I cited 2 sources, and I'm not realizing that they're from the same book. They're just different chapters. Chapter 4 and then chapter 7. Sometimes when it's chapters of a thing and I don't know how to fully cite it, luckily when we're given our readings, they have the citations in APA format, which is what we use. So I can just copy and paste it from there, which at first felt like cheating. And then I was like, I would just manually type the same thing, so it doesn't really matter. But one wrote chapter 4 and spelled out 4. Another one did chapter 7 and just had the number 7. So I just changed it so they're both written out because that just, I think, looks a little bit better. But other than that change, I think that I am ready to submit this. Okay, I'm gonna click reply, and there it goes. It's officially out of my hands, which honestly makes me feel a little bit better. Okay, so now I can actually cross that off too because we did it. So I know I said I was gonna like take my time and not feel pressured by someone else, and it really had nothing to, me posting it and like doing it had nothing to do with someone else in the class posting, and everything to do with I realized I prefer to do my discussion, like actually write out my response the same day that I read everything because I just feel like it, like I said, I just like doing it when I already have all the information fresh in my mind and I remember things that I highlighted and I was like, oh yeah, I want to touch on this. And I find that if I wait, I tend to forget. And also I have nothing else going on today. So I was sitting here and so I did it and now it's done. So that's my first assignment for this class turned in. Very exciting. I think I'm gonna wait to do my response to someone else until more people have replied so that I can, you know, see what other people are saying and not just reply to the first one that comes in. So there's that, but I am feeling very good about getting that done, actually. I was honestly really worried about like time man. Oh, he just farted. Cheerio. I was very worried about time management when I first started grad school, which was like a few weeks ago, honestly, but because it's fully online and I'm not like, I don't have anywhere to go, where when I was in school, like in my undergrad, I took a lot of online courses, but like mixed in with some in person, plus I would have to go to work, so then there I would do like homework while I was there, where here I'm in my house all the time. I could not tell you the last time I left my house. It's probably for a doctor's appointment, honestly. So just making sure that I'm really dedicating specific time to doing school, and then making sure that I can like turn that part of my brain off at night, so that I'm not sitting here like, oh, well, I could just do another reading or I could watch another lecture. And it's like, it is 7 p.m. Do not do that. You wouldn't be doing that if you were in school, like actually at school. So don't do that here. So I kept having to remind myself of that. And it's like, just because you have the time does not mean that you should be putting it towards this, because I need to still keep that separation, especially now when I'm only taking 2 classes and I have more time. It's like, well, I have the time, so why not? But if I were to take more classes, I wouldn't have as much time. So I just need to make sure that I'm still keeping that lens. So that's where we're at. I don't know if any of that made any sense, but it makes sense to me. So I'm gonna get some sloppy joe. I'm really excited. We also have pickles. We had gotten 1 jar of pickles and they were like soft and floppy, and no one wants a non-crunchy pickle. They're disgusting. So we got new pickles and they're nice and crunchy. So I'm very excited about that. I do think I mentioned earlier in the day that I wanted to film a video today. I didn't end up doing that because guess what? Yeah, so I got that notification that I only had 5 minutes left on TikTok. So you know what I did? Watched Instagram Reels instead. That is something that I really need to work on, because I can't keep doing that. It gives me a headache. It drains the day. I feel super like awful and kind of groggy after I do it, because I spent all that time just staring into my phone. And the next thing I know, like 30 minutes have passed and I've gained nothing. I've lost things, but I have not gained. So I'm gonna need to get better at that. But otherwise, I would say today was, I feel very like tired and out of it. I think because last night was the first night in a while that I had gone to bed at my normal time and then woken up at my normal time. So I just feel a little like, ugh. And then also because of this, I can't wash my face really, because if anything touches it, it burns so badly, like even just water. So I haven't been washing my face because I'm afraid, honestly. And that usually helps to like wake me up in the morning. So I've not been doing that, but hopefully now that it's like the week again, I can get back into my routines and I won't be feeling as groggy tomorrow, because tomorrow I'm going to be doing my readings for my other class and then probably starting the assignment for that class. It's not due until next week, but I just want to get a head start on it because I don't want to put it all off until next week. So that's what we'll be doing tomorrow. I still don't know if we're going to the bookstore later, but if we do, maybe I'll take you with me. I don't know. We'll have to see. Otherwise, I always am conflicted with how much I want to show in my like grad school vlogs, because you're here maybe for like to see me do grad school stuff. At least that's what I like am showing and what I want to be showing. So it's like, do I show other stuff too? Like what I'm reading, what I'm doing when I'm not doing school? Like, do you want to see that? I don't know. But also the last grad school vlog I posted, I really just talked about grad school stuff and then the book I was reading, and it was over an hour long. So I don't know. We'll have to see. But yeah, I'm gonna get lunch and my stomach is grumbling, so I'm quite excited for it. But then I will check in with you later either way, just to see how we're doing. Hello. Coming at you from a real new angle. I am actively getting ready for bed, hence I'm in my bed. I did not update you earlier like I said I would, simply because I didn't have much to say. I posted that discussion and you saw that, and then I started editing that video, which I did some new things and it took a lot longer than I thought it would. I had to teach myself how to do some new things, and I'm really proud of myself for that because I had a lot of fun. I really like learning new things, especially when I teach them to myself. It feels like twice as rewarding. So that video is coming out for me tomorrow. For you, it will have come out this past Wednesday. So go watch it. I had a lot of fun. And it made me kind of angry at first because I didn't know what I was doing, but it had like a learning curve. And once I figured it out, then we were good. I had dinner. I had more sloppy joe, but I made cornbread to go with it and it was delicious. I'm the type of person, I'll eat the same thing like for a week straight, 2 weeks straight, and not have a problem with it. So I did that. And then I checked on my post to see if the other student had responded, because I had a feeling she would. She has like a full-time job and she's in school, so it seems like she gets up early and does her stuff in the mornings and like just like whenever she has like little pockets of time. So she did respond to mine, because she also just gives the vibe of she just wants to get it done like as soon as she can. So she responded to mine, and actually like in a really good, meaningful way. And no sign of Bob yet, so that's really exciting. This feels very chatty. It feels like quite a sleepover. Look at me kicking my feet. I'm having a good time. I read a little bit of my book. I'm currently reading Belladonna by Adeline Grace. I'm not far enough in to really have an opinion yet. I think I'm like 50 pages in. It's fine, I guess. Yeah, that's really all I have to say. I'll probably tell you more tomorrow because I'll read in the morning and then I'll let you know some more. But that's about all I have to share for now. I'm gonna go to bed. It's like almost 10 o'clock, so a little bit later than normally, but uploading my video took a little bit longer than I wanted it to, so that's where we're at. But yeah, I'm gonna go to sleep and I will catch you in the morning. Good night. Good morning and happy Wednesday. It is 12:10 p.m. I guess. I woke up, I put away some laundry, and then I had filmed 2 videos on Monday, but I forgot to take thumbnails for them when I was filming them, so I had to re-put on those outfits. I feel like this week you're also getting a glimpse at me balancing grad school with all of the other things I enjoy doing, because YouTube is like a hobby for me, and so it's like balancing anything that you would normally do, like a job or school or whatever, with your hobby. So that's what you're seeing here. And it takes a lot of time, honestly, because it's like a 3-step process where you like film the video, and before that you have to like think of the video idea and then edit it and then upload it. And it's a whole thing. But so I took those pictures for the thumbnails, and then I made the thumbnails for an upcoming video that's coming out today, and then I did the whole upload process and then scheduled it to go up at 2. So I did all that, and then I just had breakfast. I had a waffle, and oh my god, this apple juice, this is the best apple juice, this Minute Maid. Some apple juices are too sweet for me, but that one's really good. I'm wearing this outfit today. I think I might change. I really like this sweater, but I hate when you wear things like under a sweater and then it like I'm getting overstimulated from my outfit and I can't be having that. So gonna probably change, even though I really love this sweater. I can't. And I wanted to button it, but the button doesn't start until like all the way down here. It's like at my waist where the button is. It feels weird. I don't like that. But I did that. That's really what I've been doing. I yesterday got approved to get an e-arc, which is an advanced reader copy of a book that I'm really looking forward to, The Ashfire King by Chelsea Abdullah, which is the sequel to The Stardust Thief, which I read earlier this month and absolutely ate up. So I'm really excited to be starting that. I might have to call the billing department of my school today, because for some reason, when I paid my tuition for last semester, one class was like 4 times as expensive as the other one, and it was just very weird. And I just want to make sure I'm not gonna have that again for summer. I also need to know when summer like tuition is due. I have a lot of questions for them, but I don't know that I want to do that right now, so we'll have to see. Did not end up going to the bookstore yesterday. I think that's quite obvious. I had called, and one of the books I'm looking for is Wings of Starlight, and I called and they said, no, we do not have any. They sold out super quick the first time we got our shipment, but they said that they're having another shipment come in. So I'm gonna call later in the week and see if they have them and then go then. So there's that. And today I have readings for my information organization course. However, there's not like a direct assignment tied to those readings. So it'll mostly just be like skimming. I don't have to like, I don't say I don't have to pay attention, but because the information, I kind of like know at this point everything I need to know to do the assignment. So I don't need to like fully be paying full attention to those readings, if that makes sense. Like where I was doing the readings for yesterday, where I was like reading because I was like, okay, I'm gonna need this information to do the assignment. That's not quite how this is. These readings are more just like providing background information for why we're doing this assignment and what the assignment is. So like they're definitely helpful and I'm gonna still be paying attention, but I don't need to be like worrying about like highlighting things and then like going back to quote those articles. So that's what we've got going on there. Yeah, that's about it. I took this little dog out this morning. I swear, the colder it is, the longer he wants to be out there, it feels like. Because it was freezing this morning, my hands frigid, like turning red from how cold they were. And he just wanted to like do laps, just up and down the sidewalk. I was like, no, we're going back inside. Update on my eye, it's shrinking. It's very textured, but the surface area seems to be shrinking. So I've really got a lot going on, but at the same time, nothing going on. It's very interesting. Anyway, I think I am going to finish this video that I'm watching, and then I'm going to go film my own video because it's nice and sunny right now and there's no one else home, so I can do it in peace, and then do these readings. I think there's 3. Let's check. 1, 2, 3. Yes. And one of them I know is a textbook chapter, and I can just skim through that because, again, it's really just like background information for the lectures that I already watched on Monday. So that'll be good. And then the other two, who knows? But it looks like it says pages 3 through 9, which is very short. So I hope that's actually the case. But yeah, so I'm gonna film the video and then check back in with you. Okay, I'm back in my pajamas because I had jeans on with that outfit. There's no reason for me to be sitting here in my chair with jeans on. So I filmed my video. It went really well. I'm honestly really looking forward to editing this video and putting it out. I am loving posting on YouTube, okay? Maybe this is a little meta for you because you're watching me on YouTube right now, but I'm having so much fun with this. Like, I am just so glad that I finally just like silenced all the little evil voices in my head telling me that like I wasn't good enough, it was embarrassing, no one's gonna watch. I'm having so much fun, and that's really all that matters. So I filmed that video, changed back into my jammies because I'm comfy, watched like a 5-minute TikTok about the Dust Bowl. It's so much worse than we ever learned. Okay, so now I'm scared of dust. Lovely, lovely. And then, oh, what was the other TikTok I watched? It was about gay swans. They steal, like, the gay and, like, men, 2 male swans. This is so insane. One of them will pretend to mate with like a female swan, and then when she lays the eggs, they like scare her away and steal the eggs so that they can raise them and have their own family. And then I saw a comment on the TikTok that said, so they're evil twinks. Took me out. Anyway, educational TikToks for the day. So now I'm actually going to start reading. It is now 2:09 p.m. and I have not started reading yet, but we're going to get on it. We have 3 things to read. Again, these ones will not take me very long because I'm really just going to skim them like aggressively. So let me get myself situated here. Oh, my Apple Pencil only has 10%. That's not good. Okay. What do I need to go to here? What a day I'm having. It's snowing again. That's evil. Okay, so that's plugged in. It's really nice that my computer charger charges both my iPad and my Apple Pencil. So I just have one charger here, and it charges like all my things except for my headphones and my phone. But that's besides the point. Okay, so the first one we have to read is 8 pages, Systems of Knowledge Organization for Digital Libraries Beyond Traditional Authority Files, and then Controlled Vocabularies, Past, Present, and Future Subject Access. This is like the 3rd or 4th article I've had to read about controlled vocabularies. I simply do not care. And then there's a chapter of a textbook that I have to read. I have to read chapter 4, which is Vocabularies for Cultural Objects. So again, about controlled vocabularies. I am getting fed up. Is it just chapter 4? Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to start with the textbook and then go from there. Do you want another time lapse of me reading this? I'm not going to be like highlighting anything, I don't think. I'll give you one. You know, you deserve it. I'll give you one. So here's the tea, okay? I finished my readings, and one of them was actually very helpful. I think I might have to like, I didn't highlight, it was in the Google Books thing, and I don't know that you can highlight in there. I didn't try because my pencil's still charging, but I also don't think highlighting anything would have been super helpful. But the assignment for that class is, we've had 3 weeks to do it, or like next week. It's due next week, Friday. So this is the 2nd week we've had with it. And I've looked through it and I said, oh, I don't even know what these words are. So last week we kind of built the groundwork. And then this week I felt like, okay, I'm understanding what it's asking me to do. So I'm going to go back and look through the whole document. I see why they gave us 3 weeks for it. I do see that. And so part of me is like, oh my God, I can't believe I put it off. Like, it's going to be like hard and time consuming. And like, so I was just getting stuck in that like phase of procrastination where you're like, it's going to be hard, so I'm just not doing it. But then I remembered, no, I still have like a week and a half and I'm dedicating all of tomorrow to it. That was the original plan. So I don't need to panic yet. And it's going to be hard, yes. But this is grad school. Like, it's not, I'm not doing something right if it's not hard. You know, if everything is super easy, then I'm not engaging deep enough with the content. So it's about like utilizing a source and then finding like the preferred term and like using the controlled vocabularies and like putting all of the things that we've learned into practice. And so yes, it's going to be hard and time consuming. It's a 4-page document that we have to like answer all these questions. And so like, I'm scared. I am a little nervous. I'm going to be fully honest with you and myself. I am scared. However, I also think it could be fun because I've never had to do something like this. And I think like how editing my video last night was, where It was really hard and it was making me angry because I didn't know what I was doing. But when I figured out how to do it, it was so rewarding and like I was just so proud of myself. And I was just sitting here with a big smile on my face, like, yeah, I did that. And I think that's how this assignment is going to be too. And I just have to remind myself, like, I am working towards my dream and I'm currently actively pursuing my dream. And like, how exciting is it? And how privileged am I to be able to do that? And so just knowing that, like, yes, this assignment's going to be hard, but I'm tougher, you know? I want this badly enough that I can handle it. So that's just quite exciting. That's how we were at with that. I ate lunch. I had popcorn for lunch. That's like my favorite lunch. I've only recently started eating it for lunch. I have this problem where I get really nauseous after I eat lunch a lot of the time. And I found that popcorn is one of the things that never makes me feel nauseous, but it makes me feel full. So popcorn for lunch it is. And now I'm going to finish watching the video I had. I want to take some pictures for my Instagram today. So I love that I'm acting like I'm like, I'm an influencer, I'm a content creator. I just have so much fun doing social media stuff. Like, I really do love it. It's like one of my biggest hobbies. And so I think it's normal to dedicate this much time to it. And also, I don't care what anyone else has to say because I'm having fun and that's really all that matters. Isn't it right, Cheryl? Yeah, he said that's right. But guess what? When I was filming my video this morning, you know how I had to retake those thumbnails because I forgot to do it when I was filming the video? Yeah, I did that again. And that was a full process because it was the shirt with the sweater and a necklace. I guess I could do it now. I don't want to. It's a lot of work. I have a headache again. I swear I'm getting headaches every single day. But that's where we're at. I kind of want to call the Barnes & Noble back today. But also, if they didn't have them yesterday and they didn't know when they were getting them yesterday, they're probably not going to know today. So I know that won't make sense. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at. I'm not doing any more grad school work today because I'm dedicating literally all of tomorrow to that assignment. And I know I'm not going to like work the entire day, you know? I'm going to like take breaks obviously and do other things in between. But I am going, that's like my one thing for tomorrow. So that's where we're at there. I need to edit some today and I want to read some of my book. I did all my readings for the week, so now I'm set on that front. So I don't know. I will probably talk to you again later, but otherwise I have no grad school updates today. So yeah, I'll talk to you later. Excuse the lighting. Again, getting ready for bed. I just thought I'd update you one more time. I showered. And then I started reading Belladonna again. Like, I picked it back up. I read 6 pages and was like, I'm okay. I don't know if I should DNF it yet though, because I feel like I'd enjoy it more if I had the audiobook, and I have it on hold. Libby says it's about like 2 weeks of a hold, which I feel like it's usually quicker. So I want to wait because I feel like I should like it. It's just not doing it for me right now. Also, her name being Signa is really just taking me out of it because what do you mean her name is Signa? You know? But I think I'm going to give it till page 100, I think is what I decided. And if I'm still not into it then, I'm going to switch to something else because I don't need to be wasting my time on things that I just cannot get into, you know? So that's kind of where we're at with that. Tomorrow I'm going to start that assignment for my information organization course. And every time I think about it, I'm like, oh, I don't want to do that. But, you know, I have to. So you're going to see me struggle through that. And then I want to film another video tomorrow. And that's really it. It is not quite 10 o'clock yet. It's a little after 9:30, which is the time I like to go to bed. So I will see you in the morning. Good night. Good morning and happy Thursday. My day is off to a bit of a rough start. It has just continued snowing and now it looks like we haven't even ever shoveled, so that's wonderful. Normally that wouldn't be a problem because I don't really like, you know, go outside a whole lot, but I've got this little dog here and he does need to go out and I'm gonna take him out obviously, but that means I have to do it in the snow and that's just unpleasant. But then on top of that, I made the mistake of checking my phone first thing this morning instead of reading my book like I typically do, and I saw that I had a medical bill. Why is everything so expensive? And it's also something that I already paid a bill for, and now there's another one. And I am privileged enough to be in a position where it's going to be taken care of and it'll be fine, but it just like puts this pit in my stomach, you know, and it's just so awful and it makes me so angry. So that really put my day off to a horrible start. But then on top of that, this assignment that I have to do, I'm just really not looking forward to it. Truly,
I love doing these discussion posts like that. I love doing them. I have so much fun with them. I love reading and then like reflecting on the readings and like engaging with them deeper. And this is not that. This is like practical applications, more on like the information science side rather than like the library science. And like, yes, they're linked, but there's like distinct differences between them. And so I'm just not enjoying this. But so instead of falling into my pit of despair and suffering, I actually opened up YouTube this morning. And well, I actually already had the tab open because I kind of always have YouTube open. And this video was recommended to me by Deja Sade, The Importance of Still Showing Up for Life Even When It Feels Like the World is Crashing Out. And that just felt very, you know, needed for me in this moment. And I started watching it, and she had this quote about planting the tree even if you won't necessarily get to sit under the shade of the tree. And then I thought, and she's a Black woman, so she was kind of talking about her like grandparents' experience where they had to work like twice as hard for things and then not even necessarily know if they would get to enjoy the fruits of their labor. And I just thought, obviously completely different situations here, but I'm working like this assignment. I really don't want to do it. This is an insane segue here, but an insane connection that I made. But sometimes we just have to do things, okay? I really don't want to do this assignment, and I'm working really hard towards this and like towards my goals, but I will get to sit in the shade of the tree that I planted, you know, because yes, I don't want to do this assignment and it's going to kind of suck and it's going to be really awful. I'm going to complain about it the whole time, but then it'll be over and then I'll get to be like, I finished it. And even if I don't get 100% on it, it'll be done. And I'll get to say that I did that. I overcame my annoyance with it and my hesitance to do it. And I will become a librarian. And that's what I've been working for forever, honestly, it feels like. So I'm just trying to keep in mind what I'm working towards. And while, yes, I'm working so hard and I kind of hate some of it, but I just have to keep in mind the end goal. And the end goal is being a librarian, which has been my dream for years. And I'm finally in a place where I can see the light at the end of the tunnel, you know? And so I just need to remind myself, you're doing it for the dream. This is your dream. Just keep going. You can do it. So that's where we're at with that. But clearly we're off to a rough start this morning, but it is what it is. I've got my Chapel Roan shirt on. You know, that'll always bring us good vibes. I'm going to watch this video and then get breakfast and then start in on that assignment. It's a 4-page like worksheet. I would like to just do 1 page today. Just one. We're setting our goals attainably. Okay, so that's where we're at there. Yeah, that's where we're at. Okay, I will see you later. Alrighty, it is significantly later now. It's 1:39. My face is red right here because I was sitting with my hand. Anyway, I tentatively finished, there's 3 sections of this assignment and I finished section 1. There is one question that I did not answer and that I had to email the professor about because I'm simply not sure what it's asking. And I'm gonna read it to you just so you get a sense of what is happening here. So it's like a 3-parter and we had to find things in the first part. So, reviewing the above authorized terms Library of Congress subject heading uses to represent each concept, explain how the Library of Congress subject heading differentiates the representation of these 2 concepts through each term, not through relationships to other semantically related concepts. In parentheses, e.g., what terminological technique is used to distinguish the 2 concepts? I don't know. I don't know what a terminological technique is because we didn't talk about that, at least as far as I'm aware. So I emailed the professor and just said, let me pull up my email so I can read it to you. Hello, I am working on the Module 4 assignment and I'm having some struggles with Section 1.4, Question 3 involving terminological techniques. Would it be possible for you to point me in the direction of which course resources I can utilize to help me better understand what the question is asking of me? Thank you so much, Nora. So I'm hoping that he gets back to me speedily, but that's the only one that I really super struggled with. And like I could cobble together an answer. I'm not entirely sure what exactly it is that it wants me, like what kind of answer it wants. So I'm just not really sure how to go about answering. So I just asked for some clarification there. And then our next section is about the Dewey Decimal classification. Really not looking forward to that because each thing has so much more work to it. But there's, let's see, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 questions in that section, and then like a reflection where we just like type a little paragraph about like what we found. And the one I just did had, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we shall see. Tomorrow I'm gonna work on part 2, and then I'll finish part 1 if I get an email back from him, and if I don't get, I mean, like, it's not due till next week, so I have a little bit of time too. So that's why I could have started it last week, but also I really feel like waiting until this week was really helpful because the lectures from this week are what enabled me to be able to answer these questions this week. So glad I waited, and I really feel like, yes, it's kind of a lot, but I pretty much finished section 1 today in just a few hours. So I also think that while the next section, it'll take longer because it's just more involved, I think it'll be slightly easier, especially because there's an direct example of how he wants us to do it. So I think that I will be okay. So I did do that, and it was not nearly as hard as I thought it was going to be. It was just a matter of remembering what each like acronym means and then how to find that in the thing. So really just like applying these concepts to a practical hands-on setting, which honestly, like, it was fun. It was kind of like, oh, we used to have to do these like little like web scavenger hunts in high school where we would get a question and we'd have to answer it through a specific website, so you couldn't just Google it. And that's kind of what this feels like, because it's like list and define with your own 2 words the 2 concepts included in the classification system. So then you have to find the concepts and then define them yourself. And this one was really silly because the concepts were cookies. In the English language, we use the word cookies to mean different things, refer to different concepts. What are the 2 concepts for cookies that are represented in the Library of Congress subject headings? And so the one was like cookie as in like the dessert, and the other one was cookie as in like that you would get on your computer. And I have like never had to define that before, so I ended up going with a term often used in computer science, comma, a form of stored information, which I feel like is the best I'm gonna get there. And then for the like dessert cookie, I went with a sweet treat / dessert typically served at the end of a meal or with tea, because biscotti was kind of tied into that, so I wanted to make sure my definition included it. But I had a lot of fun doing that part, so I'm actually kind of looking forward to the next part. I'm just hoping that he gets back to me in a way that makes it more easily understandable for me. But how many points do we think this assignment is? I think that's something we should figure out. Let's see. 100 points. Okay. So it's 100 points and like a lot of different questions. So I feel like if I miss 1 or 2, and even if I miss them, I feel like I'm still going to get parts of it right. So I'm kind of feeling okay with this, because really it's just this one thing right here that I'm iffy on. Everything else I feel very confident in my answer. So feeling good about this, actually. This is one of those things where I procrastinate so much and I like dread starting it, and then I actually do it and it's not nearly as bad as I thought it was going to be, and I'm having fun. So, you know, it is what it is, but at least we've started, and I still have plenty of time to get it done because I'm going to work Friday and then I have all of next week pretty much. So honestly, things are looking pretty good for me. Oh, let me talk to you about the book that I'm reading. Give me 1 second. You're getting a slightly different angle now because you were resting on top of my book, but I'm currently reading Belladonna by Adeline Grace. And like I said, I only read 6 pages last night, so now I'm on page 57. And it's not giving what I want it to give, okay? It is about our main character, Signa, and I've already expressed my distaste for her name. And when she was a baby, her parents were throwing this like huge party, and then everyone at the party died, including both of her parents. So she's been passed from like guardian to guardian, and like all of them have died, and so like no one wants to take her in because they think that she's like a witch working with the devil, and like rightfully so. Honestly, if like everyone who ever took her in died, I'd be suspicious too. But she was living with like someone who ended up dying in like a worse, more mysterious way, and so now she's being taken in by like a cousin, I guess. But something is very wrong at this place that she's at, and she can also like see death, and she herself cannot die, so she can like try and kill herself. So like she's been taking a lot of like belladonna berries, and so she can summon death, and then she can like talk to him. So that's interesting. And this, I like this setting and I like the writing. It's just, I don't know, I'm gonna give it to page 100 and then we'll see from there, because I feel like I should like this. It's just not giving anything at this point. And so it's like, I feel like a mystery, because it's a trilogy, so I feel like a mystery is gonna have to come about, but I don't know that I'm gonna care enough to want to read the whole trilogy. So I'm gonna get to page 100 hopefully by this weekend, and then I can decide if I want to DNF it or not. But that's where we're at with this. I don't really have anything else going on today. Really, now I'm just gonna be waiting to get an email back from my professors, so we will hop on that. Also, when I had emailed my advisor when summer registration started on Monday, I still not heard back. Today's Thursday. So I might just send a follow-up and be like, hey, did you get my email? email? Are you ignoring me? What's going on? So that's where we're at with that. And then I was gonna film another video today, but I really don't want to. I'm kind of in a mood, you know, for a headache again, because of course I do. So I'm probably just gonna sit here, watch some YouTube, and check in with you when I get an email back from my professor. You know what's so crazy? Do you remember how, I can't remember if it was yesterday. I can't remember if it was yesterday or Tuesday. I was complaining about how like every single reading that we did revolved around controlled vocabularies and how I was just fed up with learning about them. Guess what the answer to that question was? Or at least what I'm pretty sure it is. It's a controlled vocabulary. Yeah, guess what? So I didn't hear back from the professor. I was watching my YouTube video. There's like a car trying to like pull in. Not really sure what's happening over there, but anyway. I was watching my YouTube video and just like had taken a step back from like fully thinking about this assignment and was just like watching the video, mind my business. And I was like, something in this is like nagging at me and like I should know what this is. Like I feel like it's right there. I just can't quite grasp it. And so I was just like minding my business, and then I was like, it's a controlled vocabulary. That's how they distinguish, is because there's one preferred term for each thing, which is a controlled vocabulary. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure that's the answer. I don't regret emailing the professor, because if I hadn't done that, I would have kept just like ruminating on it, and I would have just been so angry at myself for not being able to figure it out. So being able to like email him and then take the step back is what I needed to come up with this. At least I think that's the right answer. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. So all you need is a little bit of patience. Sometimes that's really all it takes, but I'm very proud of myself for figuring that out. So part of me wants to email him and be like, I think I was just overthinking it, never mind. But also I'm gonna want to wait and see what he actually has to say, because what if he like gives me some amazing information that really helps everything click into place for me. So I do not regret asking for help, because no one should ever regret asking for help. Asking for help is so unbelievably important. But I'm really proud of myself for figuring that out. So now section 1 is fully complete, and tomorrow I will do, or maybe even later today, because I am having a lot of fun with this assignment, section 2 about the Dewey Decimal System. It's probably going to be tomorrow though. There's kind of a lot happening here. And then section 3 is just like a little essay. So, and it's only 200 to 300 words, which is like nothing compared to like the 500 words I'm used to writing. So I am feeling quite motivated. I took some Advil for my headache. I think I'm going to have popcorn lunch again. So I'm feeling good. I think for dinner tonight, I'm going to have grilled cheese and tomato soup. Ooh, that sounds so good. And it's so snowy today. Or I could do that for lunch. Decisions. I don't know, but I do have a headache. And I'm like, my glasses supposedly have, like, you can see how it has like the blue reflection. They supposedly have like the blue light blocker things. So I don't really know what's going on with that, but yeah, it's kind of unpleasant. So I'm wondering if it's because I notice that I don't get a headache, or if I do, it's not as bad on the days where I read and then get on my phone or my computer, where on the days like today and yesterday where I get up and immediately start looking at my phone, then I end up with a headache. That's probably what it is. But I just had so many texts today, and it makes me nervous when I have texts, because I'm always like, what if it's like my mom texting me? I need to see that. I'm always convinced that someone's gonna text me and be like, something horrible happened, and I'm gonna like mix the text or the call. So tomorrow I'm really gonna try to read or do something and then get on my phone. So we'll see. I also already used all my TikTok time for today, because I really like doing a little section and then like doing something else and then doing a little section, and then it feels like a little treat for my brain. But I think that also probably contributes to the headache. So we'll see. But I have several videos I want to watch, and I do want to get lunch because I am pretty hungry. So I just need to figure out how I'm going to do popcorn for lunch, popcorn for dinner. Popcorn is like a main food group for me. It really is, because it's so good. It's so good. I put some M&Ms in there. Ooh, delicious. But I need to figure out what I want to do for lunch, because my tummy is grumbling. So I will see you once I figure out what I'm going to do for lunch. Okay, we're here in my kitchen, and I have decided that I'm going to be having grilled cheese and tomato soup for lunch. I tried to talk myself out of it for some reason. I think because part of my brain wanted to have it for dinner, but I can have it for lunch, and I can have it for dinner if I really want to. Who's gonna stop me? So, okay, looks like we have options for bread. We have this old-fashioned real butter bread, and then we have another type of butter bread. This is the one I typically use for my sandwiches. I think I'm gonna go with this. It's a little bit thinner than the other. Yeah, that's my bread right there. So I'm gonna use that one, Nature's Own butter bread.
featuring Make-A-Wish. Okay. So, I make my grilled cheeses in a way that everyone in my family considers a little bit weird. Grilled cheese to me is not something that I really love. I really only eat it as a vessel for the tomato soup, truly. Because like I could eat the full thing of tomato soup just with a spoon, but you know, sometimes I don't want that. Sometimes I want a little something to dip it in. So that's what the grilled cheese is. So I don't love a whole lot of cheese on it. And our cheese, yeah, the people at the deli kind of mutilated it, but I kind of piece it up anyway because I like it to be a good layer of cheese over the whole bread. So this honestly is perfect for me. So I just kind of take the random pieces and put them on my bread in a way that covers all of the surface area. So now I have one layer. I know you can't see it, but oh well. I have one layer, so then I'm gonna take this one full slice and just lay it over top. And that's my perfect grilled cheese. And then I have the cheese out, so you know what has to happen. I'm gonna bring you down here. Yeah, okay, and then here is my piecemeal sandwich. Yeah, so that's what we've got going. He wants more cheese, but he threw up the other morning, so we're trying to kind of limit the amount of extra that he's having, but he's been such a good boy today, so he's gonna get, oh my god, just one more piece. Just one more. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so there's that, and then I butter bread. Some people I know use like mayo and like that as like the lubricator for their sandwich, and you know, I think it might add a little you know, but I don't like mayonnaise, and this is how I've always done it, and it turns out perfectly. So I just do a nice thin layer to coat, and then I have to get out the pan. Oh, this is so cutesy. You can see me all the way over here. Okay. So the soup comes in this thing that like is microwavable and is easy to drink out of it like with a spoon, but because I want to dip my grilled cheese, this is not enough surface area. So pry this off of here, and then I'm going to put it into this microwave safe mug so that there's more surface area to dip my grilled cheese. And try not to splatter tomato soup all over everything, which I've done on several occasions. I'm already making a mess. I'm so afraid. Okay, and because I'm not eating it out of this container, I don't have to take the little like aluminum peel tab all the way off. I can just, yes. Oh, that was so much easier than having to peel it all the way off. And then it's splattering up onto you. Whew, I feel liberated. Opening the soup is always like the scariest part of making this meal because I'm just so afraid of it splattering everywhere, mainly because it has splattered on me before. So now it's in here, and this is gonna go in the microwave. And you always wanna cover your tomato soup when you microwave it because it will get everywhere. So I'm gonna do 2 minutes, and you're on top of the microwave so you won't be able to hear anything anyway. So I'm just gonna cook this in the pan and then get back to you when my meal's done. Okay, lunch is ready. I have my soup, and then I have my sandwich cut diagonally, of course, and then some chips because I like to have a little crunch with my meal. I'm big on not gonna work. I'm big on textures with my food, so I like to have a little crunch with everything else. So I'm gonna eat. I made myself a little queue on YouTube of all the videos I want to watch. Blush Designs Co. posted a new vlog today, so that's very exciting. And I am going to eat, and then I think I might actually work a little bit more on my assignment after I eat because I'm feeling very motivated. So I'm gonna eat and then check in with you after. And he is also trying to eat, but he already had lunch, so At you from this angle again because again I'm getting ready for bed. Let's see, I read some, and I know I said I was gonna read to page 100, but now I'm on page like 210 because guess what I did? I started skimming quite liberally because it's like I'm interested, there's like a mystery aspect, like a murder mystery, and I'm curious to see how that gets resolved, but I don't really care for any of the characters, nor do I care for like the setting or anything. Death is like a character in this book who talks to Signa, and I don't really care for what's happening there. And I was looking to see how many pages the book was, and like the last line of the book is kind of like a spoiler for what's to come in this and then what's to come in the rest of the series, and I don't care for that. So where I'm at currently is she knows that how the one woman died was not just like a freak illness, it was murder. And there's someone else in the house who's dying of a very similar thing. So she knows that she's also being slowly murdered in the same way. So she's trying to stop that from happening. And she's working with like other people in the house to try and figure it out, while also trying to like enjoy her newly like debutante life, you know? And I don't care for Signa as a character, really. I don't really care for what's going on with her, like, motivations or anything. Nor do I care for, like, the fantasy elements with, like, death and her, like, death-esque powers. It's not for me. I do, however, like this one character who's, like, a possible love interest. And I want to see if something's going to develop there in this book. But also, I know I'm not going to continue on with the series because I want to figure out the mystery here, but I don't really care. I don't care about the character, and she's going to be what's carrying us through the series. So, like, why bother reading the rest of it, you know? And also, it's really just not for me. So, I'm debating whether or not I even want to finish this one. That's where I'm at, because, again, I'm really liking this. I'm curious about this, like, mystery element, but we're also getting, like, scenes, which is why I'm skimming, of, like, Signa learning how to control her powers and, like, talking to death, and I don't care about that. Like, I kind of almost just wish this had been, I guess, just like a murder mystery where it just like set in this world. I think I would have preferred that, honestly, where Signa just kind of always had like a connection to death because of what happened with her family, and not so much like a physical connection to death, you know? So that's where we're at with that. I didn't really do much else this evening. I had dinner. It was delicious. And then tomorrow I have a doctor's appointment in the morning. And then I might be going to the bookstore if they have the books Wings of Starlight in stock. I'm not entirely sure that they will. I'm not getting my hopes up. But if they do, we'll be going there. And then I have to finish or do part 2 of that assignment and probably just read some more. Last night I also read like the preface of All About Love by Bell Hooks. If you watched my January wrap up, I also talked about like my reading plans for February, and I talked about how I kind of have like a tense relationship with Bell Hooks because I've read some of her articles for like my undergrad and I just didn't love them, but I want to give her like full length works a try. So that's what we're at with that. And I'm not clicking with Belladonna, but I'm also wondering if it's because I wasn't fully in the mood for this type of fantasy. And that's why I'm also hesitant to like fully put it down, because I'm like, well, what if I end up really liking it and this just isn't the time? But also, I feel like I would know if I'm really gonna like it because I'm just not clicking with any of the characters. Like, I don't care about any of them, you know? There's one character, Blythe, and I kind of like her, but also, like, all of the characters that I kind of even a little bit like are, like, incredibly side characters who do not get a whole lot of page time, so I'm just kind of like, well, what's the point, you know? So I might skim through the rest of it just to, like, solve the mystery and see, like, how it sets up book 2, because I've heard a lot of people say that the last book is really good. Wisteria, I think. If the last book is really good, what happened to the first 2? But, you know, it is what it is. It just really sucks because I have 2 physical copies of this book on my shelves, and I've had them for quite a while. Like, I pre-ordered Belladonna when it first came out, and it's not doing it for me. I think really what it is, I'm very fascinated with different like poisonous plants like belladonna, and so I wanted there to be more talks about like, and like more discussions and like imagery with the poisonous plants, but it doesn't have any of that. She like eats belladonna sometimes to like summon death to her, but like that's it. And especially now that she's at this Thorn Grove, I think it is, manor, we really had like none of that. So yeah, it's just not what I wanted it to be. So not really loving it, but I'm gonna go to bed and I will see you in the morning, either probably after my doctor's appointment, just because it's early in the morning and I probably won't want to get up on here talking to, I won't have anything to say before I go. So I will see you after my doctor's appointment. Sleep tight and don't let those bed bugs bite. Exactly what I came here for. Had it. This is crazy. I didn't think they were gonna have it. I asked and she had it. Yeah. Go me. I also just read the descriptions of Foxglove and Wisteria, the sequels to Belladonna. No, not for me. There's slight noise in the background. Someone's in the shower. It is what it is. I am officially done for the day. Okay, let me tell you. My doctor's appointment this morning was at 10:15. We got there a little bit late because it's super snowy and the roads weren't great. It was whatever, got it done. Going to the doctor just always puts me in a bad mood because ew, hate it. And then my mom took me to the bookstore and it was so wonderful. Okay, because I was going for Hungerstone because I saw on the website that they had this in stock at my store and I was so excited. So we go in, I'm looking around, I try to find it. It's not in the new book section, it's not in the fiction section, it's in the horror section, which I can kind of see, but it's weird to me that they didn't put in the new books. It came out last week. Let me actually check. It came out this week on the 18th. Today's the 21st. Yeah, so a little odd, but at least they had it like facing out and they had like a little blurb for it, you know how they do. So this was super exciting to find. I found this, I was like, if this is all I find, I'm happy. And then I was like meandering around looking, you know, as one does at the bookstore, and I saw my favorite employee. I talked to her like twice, but she gave me a book recommendation the first time and she's just like super nice. And I walked up to her and like I smiled, like indicating that I was gonna like initiate a conversation. She goes, greetings and salutations. I said, I love you. She's so silly. And I was like, do you by chance, I know it's a stretch, but do you happen to have Wings of Starlight by Allison Saft? She goes, I know for a fact I have copies because I just got to the package in today. So she goes into the back and she pulls out Wings of Starlight by Allison Saft. This was so exciting for me. My jaw dropped when she said that she had it because again, I had looked online to see if it was even worth going because this is what I was looking for, these two things, and it said that they didn't have it in stock, and it's not even in stock online, and I was like, okay, fine. And when I had called earlier in the week, they said they were getting a shipment in but didn't know when, and I called on Tuesday. Today's only Friday, so I was like, they probably won't have it, but she said they just got their shipment in like an hour before and she had just opened the box for me. So this is so exciting, and it's the edition I wanted because they have a Barnes & Noble exclusive edition where this background is purple and then it has like end papers with the dandelions, but I don't like the purple. I think the blue is so much better, and I also just think it looks nicer and I feel like it's better for the story. So this I'm so excited about, and I kind of have an idea to do a reading vlog specifically for this, and then I'll watch Secret of the Wings as well. And I was wondering, I could check honestly right now. Do we think that the audiobook narrators for this I don't know if it's dual perspective. Let's see. It doesn't seem like it is. Okay, but do we think that the audiobook narrators are the people, like the voice actors? Let's see. Oh no, narrator is Kathleen McInerney. Love her a lot. She is a very prolific, 152 titles just through my one library. I have 3 library cards in Libby. Go me. Support your local library. But just in the one of the library, she has 152 titles. She has done so many audiobooks, and she's one of my favorite narrators, so still very excited. But this was the find of the day. Truly, I was so excited. It's so pretty. Just look at her. Just look at her. Yeah. And then I was in the nonfiction section because I was looking for Pink Pilled by Lois Shearing, and it's about like women in the far right and like incredibly conservative women, which is like a niche little topic of mine. They didn't have it, but they did have another book I've been meaning to read for a long time, Men Who Hate Women, From Incels to Pickup Artists, The Truth About Extreme Misogyny and How It Affects Us All by Laura Bates. I have wanted to read this for so long. This is one of those books that I've wanted to read for so long, but I want to like highlight and take notes and like really like tab it up and like refer back to it as like almost like a textbook. And so I wanted a physical copy, but I've never been able to find it. And they had it today. They had like 4 copies. So I don't know if that insinuates something bad, but I'm excited, like super excited to have this, and I can't wait to read it. And if I'm that excited about nonfiction, you know it's good. And then I have, this was a bit of an impulse purchase, okay? Annihilation by Jeff Vandermeer. First of all, look at this cover. Real freaky, real weird. I love it. Look at these little mushrooms growing out here. This is the 10th anniversary edition, but like, I'm sorry, look how stunning that is. And I know Books and Lala read this and really liked it, and it's been on my like Goodreads want to read shelf for a long time. So I saw this edition. I was like, oh, that's really pretty, because I like this a lot more than the original cover. So I got this. Those are the 4 books that I got. And then I was in the Calico Critter section because my Barnes & Noble does this evil thing where the Calico Critters backs right up to the YA fantasy section. And yeah, so I can't not look at them. And they had the little blind bags, which are like, oh, they're so gimmicky, but they get me every time. And they had the like baby bakery series, which I only have 1 from that series, so the chances of getting a duplicate were like slim to none. And I got Miss Girl Clara. Look, ooh, influencer hands. She's so little, and she's got little croissants on her dress. She's so little. I don't know a good way to hold her. Are we focusing? Are we focusing on my girl Clara? She's got little croissants on her dress, and then a little like whipped cream in her hair. Like how cute. I love her so much. So that's what I got at the Barnes & Noble. And I didn't realize I had $25 in rewards in my account. So I got a steal on the, it's like having a $25 gift card. That was super exciting. But then after that, we went grocery shopping, got some good stuff. Then we came home and I did my section for my assignment, which I put a little clip in. I look so studious. I'm gonna have to do that more often because it really, I was like, oh, how motivational, you know? So I am now done with that section, and I had so much fun doing that section. It was like Dewey Decimal stuff. So he would give us the Dewey Decimal classification number. So like, for example, he would give us the number 641.8248, and then we'd have to do an analysis. So we'd have to put like the full breakdown of, so it goes from 600 down to that incredibly specific number. And then we'd have to say like what the interpretation is. And so that one, 641.8248, is pizza. So then we have to say it's the food pizza. And we had 3 of those. And then we had one where it would give us 2 things. So like it had 2 different listings for Mercury, one for the planet and one for the planet within astronomy. And we had to like compare them and how they differ. And then there was one where we were comparing 3, which we had coffee as like the plant in like agriculture, coffee as the beverage that you consume, and then coffee grounds as a means of like fortune telling and divination. And then we had to compare them. So that was that section, and I had so much fun with that. So part of me was like, I don't want to do it today. Like I had a really long day. I just kind of want to sit here and like zone out doing social, like just consuming media. But then I was like, no, like I'll just do it. Even if I just do like 1 or 2 of these, at least I'm doing something. And then I did it all because it was actually really fun. So now I only have left is the reflection, which is in a brief essay of 200 to 300 words, reflect on whether knowledge organization systems like subject heading lists and classification systems aid in the representation of information resources and help users find and assess the suitability of an information resource to what they are looking for when interacting with the database or library catalog search results. Use examples to illustrate your assertions and integrate module readings and or other readings in your discussion. So I think that's actually going to be super easy, 200 to 300 words, and I have all of next week to do it too, and I'm probably going to work a little this weekend because I have nothing else going on, so that's all I have there. And then as for my other course, I just have to do my response to someone else, and so a lot of people have posted because it's due tonight, so there are currently 14 replies, so I have my pick of who I want to reply to at this point. There's someone in this course whose name I absolutely love, and I kind of want to respond to theirs because they ate that up. And they use the same 2 sources I did, so I feel like we're gonna have a lot of the similar things. And they're talking about my local public library. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna respond to. Okay, so I'm gonna do that right now, I think, because why not? And I will take you along the journey with that. I might do another little time lapse because I find that if I'm recording and trying to like type at the same time, I get distracted like trying to talk and try to do it, which is what happened when I did my first, if you watch my first grad school vlog, I submitted it and forgot to put my reference list because I was just so wrapped up in this. So not gonna do that this time, but that's what I'm doing. Dinner is currently in the oven. I made Chef Teeny from TikTok, her like sheet pan chicken and potato recipe. It's so good. I make it quite frequently. So that's in the oven. So dinner is going. I'm having a wonderful evening, okay? So I'm going to do my response and then I will check back in with you. Alrighty. That brings us to the end of this vlog. I submitted my response. I ate that up. I did. You saw my clip of putting the whole thing together pretty much. And so that's all the work I'm doing this week. And today is Friday. It's Friday night. So the rest of my plans involve eating dinner, probably watching some YouTube, and just chilling, hanging out. Belladonna, a little update. I don't even, oh, you're resting on top of it. I read the synopses of the 2 sequels, Foxglove and Wisteria, when I was at the Barnes & Noble, and they did not sound interesting to me at all. I was like, yeah, no, not for me. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to skim the rest of this to figure out, like, solve the mystery, but I'm going to count it as a DNF because I'm really not enjoying it. Like, I feel like it's putting me in a reading slump. Honestly, because I'm not excited to pick it up. I have no interest in really what's happening. And like, that makes me kind of sad because I was really excited to get to this and it's been sitting on my shelf. 2 copies of it have been sitting on my shelf for so long, but it's just not for me, and that's okay. So I'm gonna skim to solve the mystery and then count it as a DNF because even if it takes me to like the very last page, I didn't read enough of the words for it to like fully count, you know? So yeah, that's my reading update for the week. Honestly, a little disappointing, but it is what it is. I had a lot of fun this week. An assignment that I thought was going to be really awful was actually a lot of fun. Imagine that. An assignment for the major, or an assignment for what I'm actually trying to do for the rest of my life, I enjoyed. That feels like a good sign. I took you to the bookstore with me. I filmed in the bookstore. Yeah. Pat me on the back. Luckily, there weren't a whole lot of people in there because it was like Friday at like 1 o'clock, but I'm still very proud of myself. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this weekly vlog. I really hope you did. Let me know, are you in grad school? Are you in school for something? Let me know. Are you watching this just because you're interested in library science? Because also then let me know. Other than that, like, subscribe, comment. What were you up to this week? What did your week look like? Do you watch my vlogs while you're studying for school? Because that'd be so cutesy. I would love that a lot for us. But anyway, subscribe. Let me know what you're up to. And I will see you in my next video. Thank you and goodbye.